Hey there, I'm professional psychic Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up Sundays for December 11th, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you spending your valuable time and energy here with me. As usual, I'll be talking about the transits for this upcoming week. That's like the astrological weather forecast. I'll do mini tarot readings for each of the 12 signs. I'll put the timestamps below this video for that. And then I'll sing and play an original song for you. The song this week is Never Give Up. There's a reason I picked that one for this week. I'll put the timestamp below for that as well. So let's dive on into the transit, starting with the sun, which is at 19 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, as the sun moves through Sagittarius, we can feel the themes of Sagittarius. We may want to explore the world around us, expand ourselves in some way. The ninth house is what Sagittarius rules in the astrological wheel, and this is the house of foreign travel, knowledge, learning, growth, development, spiritual expansion. So this sign does not want to stay put. It wants to get about and explore the cabin. I see Sag as the ADHD sign. Like it just doesn't know, it wants to do everything all at once. It's like a kid in a candy store. So we could feel this energy kind of feeling kind of buzzy. Maybe we could feel extra frenetic, not know where we want to put our energies, want to do something new, like feel like we're bored if we're not doing something new. All these things could be coming up for you. The moon has moved into Leo this evening. It takes 2.5 days or so for the moon to transit a sign. So as it moves through the energy of Leo for the next couple of days, it highlights the themes of Leo, which are passion, following your childhood joy. It's the house of creativity in the astrological wheel. It's the house of romance, of children. So you may want to feel like spending time with children in the next couple of days, being creative, being passionate, being romantic. These are all Leo things. And both the sun and the moon in fire signs, we can want to be extra social for sure. It'd be harder to be alone when the moon and the sun are in the social fire signs. Mercury has moved into Capricorn over this last week. It's at 7 degrees of Mercury 7 degrees of Capricorn right now. Venus is at 2 degrees. So these two, Venus is our love, our relationships, our money, how we receive energy, and Mercury is our communications, our thoughts. With both of them in earth signs, it helps ground out these energies in our lives. It really helps us get some traction when it comes to love, relationship. It can make us want to work hard at our relationships, work hard in our communications, work hard at anything we're thinking about or studying as well. Mercury also will be moving into its shadow this week. That means, yes, there is an upcoming Mercury retrograde. Mercury will enter its shadow on Tuesday, the 13th. And so what does this mean? So Mercury will go retrograde. I believe it's the 29th, 30th. I'm not exactly sure when that's going retrograde. By the time it gets there, I'll be able to give you the exact dates on when it's going retrograde, the exact time and all that. But it goes, as it enters its shadow, that means this is the place in the skies where Mercury will retrograde back to over it when it does go retrograde. And it goes retrograde from the end of December. It's usually retrograde for about 3 weeks into January. And then it'll be till February 7th that it comes out of its shadow. So we enter into, like, we get into class. We're going to be learning something new here. Mercury's going to be teaching us something. So it begins to reveal what it is going to be teaching over this next couple weeks as it's moving through its shadow period. So begin to pay attention to themes in your communications with others, themes in your thoughts with yourself, your own thinking. So the retrograde has a bad rap. It can really wreak havoc. And what's going to be kind of interesting, let me just use that word, is that Mars, which has already been retrograde since October and will still be retrograde throughout the rest of this month, and Mercury being retrograde at the same time, like we're entering in the new year with Mercury and Mars both being retrograde. So we could we could just make us be more contemplative, like go back and rethink and redo and go over things. But Mars retrograde has already been, I see it showing up virtually on a daily basis. So Mars is up in Gemini. Right now, Mars is at 14 degrees of Gemini. It will be till January 12th till it stops going retrograde, and then it turns around in the skies and starts moving forward. And it'll be the end of March before Mars moves into the sign of Cancer. Usually Mars takes 6 weeks to transit a sign. By the time it leaves Gemini at the end of March, it will have been in Gemini for 7 months. So this is very concentrated, intensive energy going on for quite some time here. Mars is the planet of how we take action and put energy into things. With it being retrograde, we could have to redo things, go back over things, hold up, wait, it's not time yet, not have the energy, not have the chutzpah to put into things, just feeling like we're just offline, maybe extra tired, particularly if you're ruled by Mars, which is Aries and Scorpio. Scorpio is the ancient ruler. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, ancient meaning before we could see the outer planets with telescopes. The ruler for Scorpio was Mars. Once they could start seeing the outer planets, Pluto became the ruler for Scorpio. But Mars and Aries, bedfellows, right? So if you're an Aries, or if you have Aries in your chart, you may be feeling this retrograde extra. I definitely have been. I have my sun, my Mercury, and my moon all in Aries. So I'm a triple Aries. So my ruling planet, Mars, retrograde in the skies, has been really difficult for me to just even move through space. Like, I have been so low energy, not able to do things. If you've noticed and watch these regularly, you'll know I didn't do videos the last 2 weeks. This is a clear Mars retrograde affecting the triple Aries here, not being able to move forward and do things like I usually do things. We can have delays. We can be on hold. We can have to redo and go back over things. So this has been a very intensive energy. And then in Gemini is the twins. It's another mutable sign, so a more frenetic energy. We got the sun in a frenetic mutable sign. We got Mars in a frenetic sign. The twins is also duplicity. It can be choices, decisions you have to make, 2 different ways that you could go, since it's where we put energies or take action. Well, I could do this, I could do that. And with it retrograde, like, I don't know. I don't know which way I want to go. I'm just not going to do anything. That can be how it shows up. But Gemini is the 3rd house of the astrological wheel. So that's the house of communication. It's the house that Mercury rules, and Mercury rules Gemini. So this Mars retrograde has been feeling like a Mercury retrograde on steroids. So when we'll be having both Mars and Mercury retrograde, it could be gnarly, just saying, or very self-reflective. Like, it may be good to just go off into a retreat for the first couple of weeks of January, just like go duck and cover and write in your journal every day would be a great way to deal with it. Of course, we can't hide from the world, and there's nothing really to be afraid of in this astrology, and it doesn't predict things as much as it's just like the weather. Like, if there's a 90% chance of thunderstorms, it doesn't mean you're going to get rain. Most likely you will. It doesn't mean you'll be hit by lightning, or lightning will even strike where you are. But, it's not time to go out and dance around outside. It's not a time to plan a picnic. So it's just good to know when planets are in a beautiful, beneficial mode, and when they're in kind of a watch your step mode, which is kind of what's going on a lot right now with Mars retrograde. It's like, just be careful. Don't try to push anything. If you can't make it happen, let it go. Wait for the inspired right time to take the action on it, which it'll come back around. This is just a temporary thing we're moving through. So I'm going to go back to Sag, the sun in Sag. The ruler of Sagittarius, and therefore activated as the sun moves through it, is Jupiter. Jupiter is the biggest planet of the solar system. It brings good luck. It brings benefits. It brings kisses and fortune. It makes things bigger. It can expand things as well. So the ruler of the sun, since it's moving through Sag, is Jupiter. Where is Jupiter? Jupiter is at 29 degrees of Pisces. This is the very last degree of the entire zodiac. So it's wrapping up a lesson, and it's going to be at the same place until the 20th. What date did I have it? Yeah, Jupiter goes into Aries next week on the 20th. So Jupiter takes about 12 years to cycle the entire zodiac wheel. So we are wrapping up the end of a 12-year cycle right now with Jupiter. And it already went up into Aries earlier, and it back in retrograde, back into Pisces. So this last degree of Pisces is about spiritual growth and development. Like, are you learning the lessons that we came here to learn on this planet? I see Pisces as probably the most spiritual sign of the zodiac, and it's two fish, right? So on one fish, we've got the very psychic, very spiritual, communing with the divine, receiving downloads spiritually, communing with angels and guides and all that. And then on the other side is a fish that's like swimming in illusion, delusion, addiction, fuzzy thinking, wants to sleep, wants to check out. Pisces has a lot to do with addiction. So Jupiter, again, makes things bigger. So whatever is going on personally with you, Jupiter is like bringing it out so you can see. It's also, like I said, wrapping up the end of a 12-year cycle. You may think back over the last 12 years, what's been going on in your life, particularly when it comes to your spiritual growth and your development and your learning and your just personal growth. So when Jupiter moves into Aries, again, like I said, it's already been there once recently. It's kicking off a whole new 12-year cycle. So think about that. What do you want to be doing in your life over this next 12 years? Where would you like to see growth? Jupiter is also our faith, our beliefs, what we believe to be true. So at this 29-degree point, it's a testing degree. Any planet at 29 degrees of a sign, it's the anaretic degree. It's where we get tested. It's like taking a final exam. It can show mastery over that sign and all the signs, the themes of that sign. It can also be a test. And it's not like it's a pass-fail, but it feels like, to me, if we haven't learned or like, we could be wrapping up lessons that we have learned and grown from, and then we can like move on, move to some new lessons. If we haven't, if we're still caught up in the same karmic hiccup, we may find that we're dealing with the same karmic stuff for the next 12 years if we haven't cleared it. So this next few days, week-ish, a little over a week, is a great time to just sit and evaluate, what do I want for my life? This is a great time of year to be doing that, right? Kicking off a new year, but Jupiter, we're kicking off a new 12 years. So what do you want? What do you want to manifest in your life over this next 12 years? What do you believe you deserve? Like, where are your beliefs holding? What's your belief in your spiritual faith? Do you feel connected to your own divine higher self? I feel like everyone is psychic. Not I feel like, I know that everyone is psychic. I also feel that way. I think that way as well, but everyone is psychic. We all have intuitive abilities. For some of us, the volume is just turned up really loud. We can't ignore it. Other people's volumes turned down, turned off. They're ignoring it. They're letting their mind run the show. When we listen to and follow our intuition, however, it is the voice of our higher self, our Buddha nature, our Christ self, our divine self, whatever you want to call that. It's the little droplet of the divine that's our soul. And then the divine is the great mystic law, this energy that permeates the entire universe, including our own lives. The divine, the source, God, if you want to call it, mystic law. There's all these names for the divine, but we all have that within ourselves as well as it permeating the entire universe. So when we can find that spiritual point of connection within ourselves and then spend time in that communion with the divine, we're going to be able to listen to our intuition and find it showing up even louder and stronger in our lives. This is where spiritual practices come in. The more time you spend getting out of your mind, getting out of your emotional body, and just communing with the divine, the more we can listen to and respond to and take action towards the things that we're feeling guided to do. If we're caught up in our head, caught up in emotions, caught up in what's the chaos of the world, we can just feel like we're being batted about, right? When we can take our power back, connect with our higher self as much as we can right now, like it's just time to up it. Whatever you're doing with spiritual practices, double it, triple it, up it, because the planet, we're all affecting each other here on the planet. So as we raise our life condition, as we raise our personal vibrations, which is what happens when we get spiritual, the frenetic energy can dissipate and we can be clear. When we're clear and we listen to and we follow our intuition, we're on the best path for our life. And when we're on the right path for us, we know it because there's a synchronicity and a flow that shows up. What a concept. When we're off track, we find it in every turn. At every turn, we hit the red lights. At every turn, we hit the brick walls. We turn the wrong direction. We have to repeat, redo, go over back. Like, you can tell when you're not quite in rhythm and when you are. So Jupiter here at this last degree of Pisces is wanting us to get our spiritual connection in place, wanting us to feel like we've mastered some part of spiritual growth and development. The other thing that could be going on, if you're not working hard to develop yourself spiritually, spending time with spirit and the divine, is that the lower side of Pisces, this addictive world, this world that you want to just check out and fuzzy thinking and all that, that can be taking over. It feels like to me, when I look at my clients and people in the world, when they're operating out of a spiritual center, there's this beautiful glow about people that are just like infused with the source energy. And when they're not, they're usually dealing with some sort of addiction. That could be an addiction to food, to drugs, to alcohol, to behavior patterns of all kinds, OCD, gambling, sex. There's all kinds of ways that people can be addicted. And when you're not working on connecting with your higher self, the lower realm, the fundamental darkness, which shows up as addictions for people, get large. So Jupiter can be expanding. If you are caught up in addictions, if you're wrestling with something, just can't put those cigarettes down, just can't stop drinking those beers, whatever it is, Jupiter is making that bigger right now. You're going to feel at sort of a inner struggle if you're paying attention. So this is an opportunity to let go and release these things that are holding you back, which addictions do. They block us from the sunlight of the spirit. They block us from our higher path. They take us away from where we're supposed to be going, right? We want to dive off and check out. And that has been super common. Like the addiction to social media and video games and stuff like that. Oh my God, what has that done over the last 12 years? It's been something phenomenal about what's taking off. So it'll be real interesting to see where people are spiritually, where they're putting their energies. Where are you putting your energy? That's the most important thing. Are you giving yourself some time to connect with your higher self every day? All right, I'll get off my soapbox. But that's Jupiter here for this next week at this last degree of Pisces. It's going to be there all week long. So we are really being tested. So if you're paying attention, you'll notice it. You're being asked to let go of the addictive things in your life, the things that you're addicted to that aren't healthy for you. People, that's one of the number one addictions that people have, is codependency and dependence on other people. Jupiter is asking you to depend on the divine, to let whatever you're clinging to that's a facade go and grow spiritually, grow personally, so that when it enters into Aries next week, you're ready with a clean slate to start a whole new 12-year cycle. I find this super exciting, actually, this energy of the Jupiter at the last degree of Pisces. And I can relate to this because my personal natal Jupiter is at 27 degrees and 59 minutes of Pisces. So it's almost at 28 degrees. So it's right almost there. So it's been kissing my Jupiter lately. So I've been feeling sort of, heightened. I have definitely been feeling this wrestling with my own addictive self and my own spiritual nature and what's most important. I've definitely been writing a lot in my journal about that. And I did a very powerful constellation this week around just the subject of addiction, because we all can be addicted. Everyone on this planet addicted to something. So I think that's just the lower nature of human beings. And so that could really be coming up as an issue, particularly because Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is also there in Pisces. So it also make us feel extra sleepy and want to be checking out with this strong Pisces energy going on. Especially with Mars retrograde, which could also make us want to just chill and like, it's not even worth it. I don't even want to put the energy out there. And then this Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces is just, because Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. Again, once the planets were discovered beyond what we could see with our naked eye, then Neptune became the ruler of Pisces. But right now, and then Jupiter, of course, is the ruler of Sag. So these two co-rulers of this sign together in the skies in the sky. Neptune's at 22 degrees. So anything within 10 degrees is considered conjunct. Since they're both rulers and they're both in this last decan, we are really being asked to question what we want for our future when it comes to spiritual growth and development. And what do we want for our lives, just to make our hearts happy? What makes you sing inside? All right, what else we got going on? Okay, so I'm going to just talk about the transits and then a little bit more about these signs as they pop up. So tomorrow on Monday, the sun will be sextiling Saturn. Saturn's in Aquarius. It's at 20 degrees. This Aquarius has two wavy lines, right? It's like everybody vibing together. How can we work together? Saturn here, it is the ancient ruler of Aquarius. The new ruler, modern ruler, is Uranus. So it's in its home sign, although Saturn is where we set up boundaries, where we set up how we organize things, we put things together. Saturn is the timekeeper, the boundaries. It's the stop sign of the zodiac. It's where we say, nope, go back, do that again. Nope, can't do that, can't do it that way. There's something about reorganizing our time, our energy, balancing out how much time we spend with other people versus how much time we spend with ourselves. With this sextile is a positive relationship between the sun and Sagittarius. Again, it's wanting to explore, expand, develop. And then Saturn, which is like, well, let's put some parameters in that. Like, do you want to sign up for a new course? Do you want to, how we want to make this work? How do we make this real and tangible? Saturn is just really about making it real. So the sun and sextiling Saturn, we could set up a new routine for ourselves, a new boundary. Like, okay, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to start something new, so that could be going on. It's a lovely energy going on Monday. Again, with the moon in Leo, we could find creative ways to write about this energy too. Sing it out, dance it out, play it out. I already talked about Mercury entering its shadow on Tuesday, and all that means is begin to pay attention to your thoughts, to your communications with others, so that you can see what the upcoming theme of the Mercury retrograde. It's like during the shadow period, it's the preview of coming attractions. It'll show you what Mercury retrograde is going to mean for you. You start getting the heads up about what it's going to mean for you here over these next couple of weeks until it goes retrograde. The moon will move into Virgo on Wednesday. This is the kind of the most iffy day of the week I see, because we have two different important squares, and squares are contentious relationships. We have a square between the sun that'll be at 22 degrees of Sagittarius and Neptune at 22 degrees of Pisces. So this can make us want to just check out or shut down or run into our addictive self. It can be really fuzzy. Neptune, when it's in a negative relationship, negative aspect, it tends to bring out the underworld of Neptune, which is the illusion, the delusion, the addiction. The Neptune dissolves things, it takes things away. So there could be some sort of, taking away something, you get told no somehow, or like you just can't do it, you don't have the energy for it, you're just like want to check out. Also on Wednesday, Mercury in Capricorn is in a square with Chiron retrograde in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer. When there's a relationship with Chiron, it usually triggers something. Something will be brought to our awareness that is in need of healing. A square can feel kind of ouchy. Mercury is our thoughts, our communication. So there can be a conversation that feels painful or hurtful. Even our own personal thoughts could go painful or hurtful, especially also with the Neptune Sun square that same day. So give yourself like lots of space and time, and like maybe a great day to just meditate, journal, go within, see what comes up. That it just may be a hard day to get clear about things. The moon will move into Virgo that day at some point. So there is this energy of working hard, wanting to focus on our health, wanting to focus on getting things organized, attention to detail. But with these squares, we may just feel like, oh, F that. I'm going to take the day off. I'll just do nothing today. Let's see. Then we have the moon moving into Libra for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This puts our focus on relationships, on justice and fairness. I think it may be important. We may get important legal news coming out somewhere between Friday and Sunday with the moon in Libra. And I always suggest that if you want to start learning about transits, is to pay attention to where the moon is and what you notice. That's the simplest way to start. Looking at where the sun is and what you notice during the 30 days of the sun's transit also is an interesting. People will talk about, well, yeah, this time of year I always, and we think a lot in terms of the seasons, and that may be true. It may all have a lot to do with the season that we're in, but it also could be the astrological sign that we're in, and like not even noticing that, wow, every time the sun moves through Sag, I can't sit still. Like, oh, I always end up exploring new things, that kind of thing. Be interesting to pay attention to that kind of stuff. On Saturday, Mercury is in a trine. This is a positive connection with Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is the upper octave of Mercury. So Mercury is our communication, our thoughts, our connections, and then Uranus is the outer octave. It's like if we're talking about just communication one-on-one, Uranus is like communication with aliens. It's like technological advancement beyond just technology we don't understand. Typing in our computer might be the Mercury, and then someone who could know how to program the whole system, that's a Uranus thing or a Uranus thing. So since they're like upper octaves of each other, or lower octaves, upper octaves of each other, there could be this beautiful resonance of really fabulous communication. Uranus brings in sudden surprising thing. Mercury is the messenger, so we could have some important messages that come in, some good news, as I see it with the trine, like something like unexpected but exciting once it comes in, like, yay, finally, yay, that feels great. So that's a nice energy going on this week. Let's see, what else do I have written down here? Talked about Venus and Mercury in Capricorn. This earth energy just helps us be more grounded with things, which is a nice energy to have going on. And since these two planets are both moving forward still at the moment, there's still forward movement going on. We can get things done. We can be working hard towards relationships, towards our communications. Uranus is retrograde. Neptune is direct. Neptune just went direct last week. So it's back online moving forward. So we'll have Chiron going direct next week, I believe. Yes, on the 23rd, Chiron goes direct. Then it'll just leave Uranus that's retrograde, Mars that's retrograde, and then Mercury will go retrograde. And in January, all three of those planets will go direct. So by January 23rd, I believe, is when Uranus goes direct. All the planets will be direct for like 88 days, something like that. So it's like, it's been hard to get things going, get things moving. So we can look towards this third week in January to where finally we can sort of pick up speed and get things going. And as Mercury and Mars turns around in the middle of January, we may also just feel like, all right, now we can start moving. Now we can start getting some traction. Now we can start getting things done. So if you're looking about timing of when to do something, mid to late January, you should start having the energy, and the obstacles should be subsiding towards moving forward. So then there's this lovely forward motion going on until March. Well, I think it's actually till April is when the first planet goes retrograde, in April. And in March, we'll also be having Pluto changing signs. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. So think about what else has been going on in your life, what's been transformed in your life. Pluto is death and transformation. It's at 27 degrees of Capricorn right now, which is where the United States natal Pluto is. And so we've been having a Pluto return. So this is bringing up the issues of how we formed our country. And so over the next 2 years, as Pluto will begin to dip up into Aquarius, it'll do that in March, then it'll go back into Capricorn again, and it'll go back into Aquarius, and it goes back and forth a little bit until November of 2024. Then it moves into Aquarius to stay for years. So we'll be having a shift in themes. But as Pluto begins to dip its little toe into Aquarius in March, we begin to see the themes of what Pluto and Aquarius is going to be bringing about for us. Pluto and Capricorn has been bringing out transformation in the top-down power over others kind of energetic that's innate in this country, but all over the planet. Power and control issues are raising their ugly heads with Pluto, which represents power and control, death and transformation. So at 27 degrees of Capricorn on the United States natal, it actually is exact. In another week or two, I'll be talking about it. It's not this next week, but it's at 27 degrees. So it's at the same degree. It's not at the exact minute. The United States Pluto is at 27 degrees and 33 minutes, I believe. And right now Pluto's at 27 and 3 minutes. So, but it's interesting to look at what's going on in our country right now and compare and contrast what was going on when we founded our country, because there's a lot of similarities, and then transforming that paradigm, because Pluto transforms it. It doesn't come back and go, oh, we're just going to leave things exactly how they are. No, Pluto changes things up as it moves through whatever sign it's in. It will be changing up that house in your chart. So I've talked about that on other videos, so I won't dive into any more about that right now. Let's see, what else have I not talked about? Oh, there's a couple of asteroids that have been together in the skies for a while. Black Lilith, which represents our deep-seated fears, is at 26 degrees of Cancer right now. This, in our natal chart, Black Lilith can represent where we've had fears that have been real in past lives, and can be places where we just are sort of natural scaredy cats, naturally have avoidance or resistance towards doing things. It's an opportunity to heal. The reason that we're looking at Lilith in our chart and attaching fears to that is to be able to overcome our fears. So Pallas Athena is right next to Black Lilith. She's at 25 degrees of Cancer. So they're 1 degree off. So they've been conjunct for a while. Pallas Athena came out of Zeus's head, fully armed for battle. She is the like the strategizer. She's like the general on the battlefield. She can get things organized, get things done, delegate, get everybody to do what they need to be doing. She's a strong, powerful woman. She was not born from a woman, right? She comes out, the myth is that she came out of Zeus's head. So she can also represent brilliance in thinking, also intuitive arts and being very psychic. Utilizing her intuition into how she does things in her life. She was also a weaver and a crafts person. So like sewing and weaving and crafts can be attributed to Pallas Athena. So the two of them together, to me, is like there's a divine feminine piece that's getting worked out, because, you know, Black Lilith can also be our sexuality. Pallas Athena is very masculine. As for a feminine goddess, she's got a very strong masculine energy. So there can be fears showing up of us just being in our power. Cancer can stir up emotions, stir up intuition. We can also get some insights into how do we balance out our fears? How do we take action even though we're afraid? That's one of the things I feel like is being stirred up and offered up right now with these two close together. And the moon just went over these two this morning. So activating these planets. When the moon mode crosses over something, it kind of activates it, gets it a little hit, gets a little spark going. Like, did you ever used to rub your feet on carpet as a kid and then go touch someone? Like, the moon is like that. It's like running around on carpet, touching everybody as it comes through. So it gives it a spark, some expansive energy. So, you know, and if you look at my dailies or listen to my dailies, I talk about whatever transit is most strong that day, and I draw a card. Please do check those out. I do post them here on YouTube. I post them on Instagram, where they've been really getting some really great views. Like, I've had one daily video got over 13,000 views in one day this last week. That's the third time in the last month, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I've had a daily go over 10,000 views. And they can get, I think yesterday's got over 4,000 views. Like, wow, they're just like, a lot of people are watching those on Instagram. Who knew? I spend a lot more time on Facebook personally, and I post them there as well. I post them on TikTok as well. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok are where you can find my dailies. So please do check those out. Get that little joke. They're just 59 seconds. So I keep it short and sweet, unlike these videos that tend to go a little long. So, anyway, so just want to get a shout out to that, and make sure you, if you haven't already, check those out. All right, pay attention to Mercury as it goes into its shadow this week and what themes start being shown to you. Take your time. Mars is retrograde. Don't rush. Don't push. Breathe deeply and often with this Jupiter at the last degree of Pisces. This is great. It'd be great to just even meditate on this whole concept of, what are you here for? What do you want the next 12 years to look like? Where do you want to grow in your life? Where do you want to expand? What things do you need to let go of? This is the things to chew on and to take with you. A great time to be doing a vision board that would include what you want your life to look like for the next 12 years. That'd be a great activity for this next week. All right. That's all I see right now about the transits that I want to talk about. Let me see if there's anything else. Did I miss any of the planets? We got the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Got them. Check, check, check. All right, I'm going to put this on pause a minute. Okay, so now I'm going to transition to doing tarot readings, and I'm a channel. So I look at what the card means. The same card could come up with different signs, which it happens often, and I'll just get what it means for that sign, whatever additional information I get that your sign needs to know. I use the Osho Zen Tarot deck, which I've been using this same deck for decades. I haven't found one. I own like 30 decks or more, but this is the one I use. So I haven't found one that works better. So we're going to start with the Aries and see what you guys need to know for this week. Okay. I'm gonna go with the one that went flying out of here. I'm also going to see with what I cut to. All right, I'm going to talk about both of them. The one that went flying out is the Fighting card, which is a struggle. So with your ruling planet, Mars, retrograde right now, it can be stirring up some unresolved anger for sure. This could be some anger with yourself, inner struggle. You could be battling with your demons. You could be pissed off at someone else. It could be an old resentment that you're still carrying with you that gets triggered. So if you get stirred up this week or someone triggers you, try to look for what is the connective piece to you. What do you have control over? What can you shift? What can you change? A lot of times we get pissed off when we can't change someone else's thinking or perspective or whatever. So that's this energy that got stirred up, that went flying out of the deck. And then I've also drawn the past life card. So this is about connection with people that you've known in past lives, or past life flashes that may come up from other lifetimes. That could be happening this week. There's a strong sense when this card comes up, very often be someone that comes into your life that you know you've known before. It could be someone brand new or someone that you already know, or you can have a flashback that's going on this week. I feel like it's relationship oriented though. My sense is that there is like, and it could be a longing for that kind of connection. I feel like I'm really drawn to the hands here that are on it's almost like an hourglass here, right? Like it's going through the sands in an hourglass. But see these divine hands that are coming around the outside up here? Do you see that? It's like being held almost. It feels like this kind of energy going on where you're being held and comforted, or like almost like the universe is bringing you a gift. Maybe this could be one of the gifts of Jupiter, is the universe bringing in a past life love. Also interesting are these chameleons that are in the middle of changing colors. So I do feel like you're in the middle of some significant changes in your life, Aries, as well. Like you may be discarding something old and some karmic baggage. Past life card can also be karma, stuff we've dragged with us, dragged forward from other lifetimes. But the chameleon is about change and transformation. And so I do feel like that you are fundamentally changing some karma this week. And it's not just this week. This may be something you've been working on for a while, but I feel like there's like a turning of the tides this week, like a real shift where you feel like that's over now. I'm not ever going to do that again. That's done. I don't have to repeat that lesson again. Like something feels like it's shifting this week for the Aries. So that's always good. I think it's always good. Okay. Let's move on to the Tauruses. I've got the Fool card. This is about following your heart, following your intuition, stepping off that cliff and going for it. This is not caring. The Fool is not about being foolish in my interpretation. It's about not caring what anybody else thinks about you. If they call you a fool, if they, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm going to listen to my own inner voice. I'm going to take the action that I feel guided to take. That's what this card is about. He's got flowers in his hands here, so there could be some sort of romance or love, affection going on, some display of romance going on with flowers. So you may be receiving flowers, you may be the one giving flowers to someone else, you may get them for yourself. There's also this journey here that's going on in this card. So it's indicative of stepping off the cliff and starting something new. Like this is a new journey that you're starting this week. Like, okay, I'm going to go for it. And to me, it could be something you've been thinking about doing for a while. It could also be something you just get inspired about and take action. Like if it comes across really strongly and clearly, you can take action as soon as you get it. Most of you guys, however, Tauruses want to chew on things for a while. Want to sit back, want to turn it into cud before you actually swallow, to make sure it's what you really want to do. Cautious and careful are Tauruses at their nature. So for you to jump off a cliff and do something that may not be cautious is kind of out of character, but this feels exhilarating. It feels empowering. It feels like it's important. Whatever this new thing that you're starting, new thing you're going to be doing, it feels right on and just like signaling lots of, like, to me, whatever action is getting started this week, whatever new thing you're doing, whatever new action you're starting, whatever it is, fill in the blank, it's the start of something that's going to be going on for a long time. Like it feels like there's like an expansion thing. It's not just this next week that you're doing something. You may be starting something this next week that you decide to do all of next year, kind of thing. So this could be habits or behaviors that you're starting with yourself as well. Like I'm just going to start doing this, whatever that is. I'm going to meditate an hour every day. I'm going to work out at the gym every day. I'm going to whatever, never touch sugar ever again, like whatever it is. I feel like there's something very important and pivotal that will change your life this week. That's what I'm getting for the Tauruses. Follow your intuition into it. Trust yourself. All right, we'll go on to the Geminis. Have you been having it hard with Mars retrograde in your sign? I mean, as an Aries, as I already talked about, it's been hard for me to deal with the Mars retrograde. How about you guys? Been intensive a little bit? Since it's affecting you directly in your sign? Hurry up and wait. That's a Mars retrograde in Gemini thing. And I draw the slowing down card, which is, yeah, not being able to move through space as quickly as you're used to. You're used to buzzing about, having lots of things going on at once. And this is like, you may not have the energy for it. You may be like being caught up in something health-wise that's slowing you down. It just could be energetic. You could just be, like I said, feeling the intensity of these planets right now with the Neptune and Pisces and Jupiter energy and the Mars retrograde. That can all just, oh man, I'm too tired. The slowing down card also is about just don't rush. It's okay. It doesn't have to happen right now. Are you making progressive forward movement in your life? Like, you know, the story of the tortoise and the hare, right? Tortoise is the one that wins the race. It's about persistence. It's about consistently putting energy in the direction that you want to move your entire life. So you may not be feeling yourself. I guarantee you that most of you aren't right now. Pace may be much more slow than you like it, but it's okay. Breathe deeply and often. It won't be at this pace forever. It'll speed back up to the speed that you like it soon enough. But right now it does feel like it may be time to just wait. Think things through a little bit more, and more than think things through. Y'all are the king and queens of thinking things through. This is more of like intuiting it through, listening to your intuition. What do you feel guided to do in terms of action to take? Not what do you think you should do, and like batting it up in the head. Y'all know all that game too well with the twins, batting things back and forth between the two brains. Interesting that I'm seeing something I haven't noticed before about this card, which is like this little piece here of rainbow whatever that's going on here. His head is kind of rainbow colors too. To me, the rainbow is significant. So it could be an LBGT thing. It could be just a sign of the universe showing you a sign, like, you know, the rainbows to me always feel optimistic and hopeful. And so it feels like there's some sort of, I feel like you may literally see a rainbow this week, or you may just have something that feels like it's a sign, like, am I on the right track? Please show me a sign. And you get a sign this week is what I feel, that you are headed on the right direction, that it will come to pass, even if it hasn't happened yet. So just be patient. Breathe deeply and often. Use this time to just work on patience. That's what it feels like. It's okay. This too shall pass. That's what I get for the Geminis. All right, Cancers. I laugh because I just drew the exact same card I just drew for the Geminis. So this is, I mean, you guys are used to having a shell. Turtles, you know, crabs, they're similar. They can both duck and cover in a similar way. But this is about not rushing. Right now with Mars retrograde, I don't know anybody who's really, I literally have not talked to anybody who's doing things at their normal pace, the way they usually do things right now. Like they're being held up, slowed down, having to redo things. So you are no exception, little Cancers. But this is about being patient and just doing that next right step. Where's your next foot gonna go? I was just noticing when I was reading for the Geminis that there's this rainbow piece here rainbow colors. I'm not even sure. I hadn't noticed that before. And his head is rainbow colors. So I feel like there's like a beautiful sign from the universe that could be coming in. That's like, okay, here, it's like the last lap of the marathon or something, or like, you're almost there. Don't quit now. In fact, there's a Buddhist parable that's coming to mind at the moment, talking about enjoying the moon over the capital. And it says the journey takes 12 days. And if you quit on the 11th, you'll never get to see the moon rise over the capital. So it's kind of like, this is a sign of like, yeah, you're almost there. Keep going. You got this. You can do this. Take that deep breath and just do that next right step, knowing that you'll get to your destination. You will accomplish your goals, even if it's not on the timer or the normal enjoyment that you usually have. It just feels like your enjoyment factor's been kind of deflated too. It's like, again, this is temporary. Just breathe deeply, be able to move forward at whatever pace works for you. No rushing. Don't compare yourself to anybody else's pace either. Just do one day at a time. And wherever you feel guided to put your energies, do that. And that's what this week looks like. Slow it down. Be patient. Okay, Leos. Got the moon in your sign right now, highlighting your energies. You feel like you get a special kiss as the moon moves through Leo. I gotta go with that since it kind of popped up. It's the source card. So this is y'all. Leo's totem is the sun, the source. The source card in this deck is the infinite. It is the divine. It is the source of all. So this is saying tap into source energy for all that you need to do. It's like, this is not about being self-reliant. I can do it. I can make, because Leos can be all about themselves, the ego, narcissistic. These are some of the downsides of the Leo, right? You can feel empowered and inspiring to others as well. But this is not being caught up in self. This is about being filled with spirit. With the spiritual source energy, and the energy of the sun. And it feels like it's important to get out in the sun, and that may be challenging depending on where you live. It's been kind of gray around here lately, and rainy and stuff, but this feels like you're needing some sun, literal sun time, energy with the sun. So if you can capitalize on grabbing some sunshine, for your skin, grab the DNA, I feel like it's super important. And just also to know that you are being taken care of. Like, do you breathe yourself? I mean, we can consciously breathe, but are you doing that when you're sleeping? Are you the one beating your heart? Like, what's keeping everything ticking? You're not doing it. There's something bigger than you that's running your whole system. So this is about needing to acknowledge that there is a divine, that you can turn your will over to the divine, and things work out better when you're not trying to effort and strong will it and ego will it. And if you allow the divine to work with you and through you, it can still feel lovely. It can feel so much better than when you're going off on your own ego self. So this is like a beautiful kiss. There also could be like a highlight. Maybe you're out there in the public eye this week in some way, and shining, being your best shiny Leo self. Is there anything else I get with this? I just feel dancing for some reason on this card. It just feels like it may be time to get up and dance or beat a drum or play an instrument too. I'm just really feeling like making a joyful noise, celebrating in some way is also on tap for this week. And I feel like there's definitely good news coming in this week for the Leos. So enjoy that. All right, we'll go to the Virgos. The rightness card is coming. So something is almost time. This is when the fruit is ready to be picked and eaten. This is when the project is ready to be completed. And this is when you're ready to get the check in the mail. Like, it's time. It's almost happening. There's something about the new moon too, like between now and the new moon. I mean, we just had a full moon, so we got a couple more weeks to go for the new moon. But it feels like in this next week and a half, there's something important that comes to fruition for you in your life, like a project that's getting started, or like I said, it could be receiving back the effects of causes you've already set in the past, or you could be launching something new this week as well. But it's a juicy time, ripeness, juicy. It can also be abundance. Ripeness can signify abundance, and that you have plenty of whatever that you need. I'm also really drawn to the beautiful light here, the golden light of the sun here. Even though we've got the moon and the night sky here, this is just feeling like there's something about the transition from day to night and night to day that's important. So I don't know if the timing of something happens at dusk or dawn this week. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you have something powerful, spiritual, important that starts or completes at around dusk or dawn. I'll be interested to hear if that's specific for anyone out there. You have a dusk or dawn experience this week. Yeah, that's all I'm getting for the Leos right now. Have a great week. All right. I mean, that's Virgos, not Leos. Virgos. I was talking to the Virgos, not the Leos. All right. Libras. Got the schizophrenia card. This card may mean you're feeling a bit cray-cray. Usually it means you're feeling split down the middle. It's not literal that you're having like can't even say that word. You know what I'm trying to say. Hallucinations. I can usually say that word. With schizophrenia, you cannot. You can't find the right words. It is a divided mind. It's a split down the middle here. This card will come up when someone needs to separate away from someone or a situation that's making them feel cray-cray, or they just can't decide between two different extremes. There's like a choice that needs to be made. This poor person is just like stretching themselves out as far as they can go. The fear here is falling into the abyss. And there's these two little birds here that are bringing to me this like helpful guidance and confirmations that can come in about which direction is the right direction for you. But this is about making a shift, a change, separating away from behaviors and patterns and people that are not serving you anymore, moving towards those that do. So this card comes up when people are leaving relationships, when they're moving, when they're changing jobs, these kind of major life changes. So you may be up against a major life change this week in some way. The important thing is that when you're feeling torn between two things, rather than batting about and maybe should I not, like that kind of thing, take it into a meditation or quiet time. Ask for spiritual direction. Take it into your dreams before you go to sleep at night. Ask for clarity. Ask for direction. Of course, you can always contact me for a reading if you want to look over something you're chewing over and tossing around to decide what needs to be happened. I feel like there's a major shift in relationships going on for a lot of the Libras this week. I see that. I say that because the number 2 is here on the card, and it just feels like something is shifting and changing. You may be leaving, getting out of a relationship. You may be deciding to get on a dating site or start a new one, or looking at what draws you closer to feeling resonance and harmony, and what things pull away and make you start feeling weird. So paying attention to how you're feeling. I'm really drawn to these clouds too. So it feels like there's been a lot of sort of nebulous, fuzzy thinking recently, like not being able to get clear, clear-headed, like, and to me, it's not about trying to get it clear here in your mind. It's about getting it clear here in your heart and your gut. Like, this feels right. When something is right for you, when you're making a decision or a choice and you're trying to decide between two things, the decision that makes you drop and feel open and expanded is the right path. If you feel clenched or contracted, that's a no. So that's a basic sort of yes, no. You can always pick up a pendulum, work with that, do muscle testing with your fingers. Have you ever done that? Yes and no. So there's a decision that has to be made, a turning point. This feels like it could be life-changing too, like a major, major, major shift this week for the Libras. Yeah, no, you're not going to go crazy. You just make a decision. Stick with the one that your gut is calling you to do, the one that feels right in your gut, the one that keeps circling back. If it keeps circling back up, keeps bubbling back up again, often that can be a sign. It's also how our addictive demons will they'll keep going, oh, don't you want that cookie? Don't you want that whatever? So if that kind of stuff is going on too, sort of like behind the veil kind of energy too, that has a different feel to it than when you're being guided. Guidance comes through with a beautiful, loving energy, where if it's coming from our brain or our mind, there's like this frenetic energy. There's a should sometimes to it, or a must, or I need to, or I have to, or what am I supposed to do? Or like it's different. Whereas something comes through guidance, like this is what I'm desiring to do. This feels right for me. This is what I'm wanting in my life. So anyway, take a leap of faith. Go after what you heart desires this week, Libras. All right, we'll move on to the Scorpios. All right. Oh, I've been having these fly out today. The flowering card is coming up for the Scorpios. This is blooming and blossoming. It's like feeling your great, beautiful self. Even if you're a male, this is like a blooming and blossoming of the divine feminine. We all have divine feminine and divine masculine. So the divine feminine is rocking her stuff here. She's got her bangles on. She's got her really lovely outfit here with the sparkly spangles going on up here and a flower wreath going on. She got all kinds of things going on, celebrating, rejoicing, feeling grateful, feeling happy, feeling content and peaceful. She's sitting on a lotus flower that's floating on some really psychedelic water here. It just feels like you're rising above the fray and feeling like finally things are flowing. You're getting highlighted in some way. You're getting the spotlight shown on you in a beautiful way. You're feeling beautiful this week. Maybe you're investing into some new makeup or new clothes or something like that too, because she's all dolled up, ready to go. Her rainbow bangles also are, it's like, to me, this could be a shout out to some LGBTQ stuff going on. It could also just be symbolic of diversity and color and beauty in your life coming from lots of different places, and that you welcome it and accept it. The green of her outfit too also feels like there's a lot of healing going on right now. That maybe you've made it through something where you've been sick or been ill, and now you're feeling like, or even feeling mentally off, and now you're feeling like there's a flow that feels like it's going on this week. And the flowering card could also be about it's just time for you to shine, and you might want to go get yourself some flowers. It might be a good week to just reward yourself with some beautiful flowers from the divine around you. It feels like a beautiful week though, flowing. There's a flow to the week. It just feels like it's going to be a really great week for the Scorpios. That's what I get. All right, Sages. Happy birthday if you've got a birthday coming up this week. Got the rightness card again. This is about timing being right. Things are coming to fruition. If your question about something has to do with like when's it going to happen? This week is what it feels like. It's like, we can happen this week. There's a right timing going on. Things coming to fruition. It's time to eat the fruit. It's like a full circle. You've already set the causes. Now is the time to reap the benefits. Feel the effects coming back around. That feels really cool and powerful. I feel like there's a lot of healing work going on too. And I'm hearing duck and cover, like maybe wanting to spend more time by yourself than you usually do. I mean, it's the socialist time of the year, right? The time that there's more social invitations than any other time of the year. And you may just not be feeling it. Like, do I have to? Or you may make an appearance and get out of there quickly, kind of thing. This week, there's some benefit coming back in those, some fruits of your labor, something coming back around as a result of causes that you set that feel really good. And time to pick that apple and eat it. Enjoy it. Enjoy the juicy fruit, the ripeness, the timing that something's about to happen in a positive way. This is definitely a positive sign. Something good is coming. Something good is shifting. Something you've been working on, you're finishing up, kind of a thing. That's what it feels like. So, good week for the Sagittarius. Capricorn. Creator card. This is about you guys manifesting what you want and need. You're pretty good manifestors as an earth sign. You're pretty good at making things happen, being the natural leader. This card is affirming that, like, this week, you have the ability to create something, to make something happen. This guy is in just all gathered up, all his divine energy here in his solar plexus is just sort of shooting it out in the world. His aura is all lit up in several different ways. So he is definitely meditating. He's definitely plugging into source energy here and then channeling that source out into the world. So there's definitely something. Some of you may be, I'm seeing this literally. It was like, there could be like a new soul being created this week. Like there could be conception going on. At a real physical primal level. Somebody may be creating a baby this week. You may be creating something that's symbolic, like a baby, a new project that's being manifested, creating a new work of art of some kind, a masterpiece, as it will, because this is like you being in your best self. Like this feels like it's a really good week for you to just shine, be your best self, make things happen. Tap into the divine for your direction, feel like safe and warm and loved by the universe is what this feels like. Feels like, yeah, this is good. You know who you are. This is not an ego power. This is about power because you've plugged into a higher power and that can manifest that. We're made in the likeness and image of a creator. We are also creators. That's what this creator card is about. So what are you going to be creating this week? Let me know. All right, now we'll move on to the Aquarians. Celebration, something to celebrate. This card comes up a lot when it's time for women to get together with their female friends, their sisters or sisters, as I like to say, and just enjoy the company of other women. This card shows up for men who are like dating several people, are interested in more than one person. There's something about, the barefoot playing in the rain and kicking up and just having a fun. It's like not letting something get to you, like whatever. It's like, it's raining. All right, I'm going to celebrate. I'm not going to let it get to me. So there's like overcoming obstacles is what I'm getting to this week with the Aquarians. It's like, Celebrate is good news, exciting. Something's a big yes when you can celebrate. You may be finishing something that you can celebrate. It just may be, you know, time to just that you're just grateful for your life and the people in your life. But this is definitely a commune with others kind of a card. And definitely it's like if you're an Aquarian woman, reach out to your sisters, not sisters. I mean, you can reach out to your sisters too if you have them, but this feels like female friends that are like soulmate kind of energies. Yeah, highly recommend it. I went out and had a girls' night last night with 3 other women friends, and we saw 2 female comics. It was like best. I was like, this is a great night. So maybe still do some of that yourself this week, Aquarians. All right, now we'll go to the Pisces. Got the sorrow card. Well, okay. So on one hand, it could be self-explanatory. You know, you're feeling sad about someone. You may have lost someone, or you may be thinking about someone who's no longer in your life. You could also just feel like it's a hard week and you're feeling a little bit sorry for yourself. That could happen. I mean, we don't all have great weeks, but this feels like you could get triggered or feel like that you're alone, or that you're getting caught up in something, an addictive pattern within yourself that's just making you feel sad about your own inner struggle. I'm seeing this pipeline straight into him here, right? There's all this gray here, but then there's like divine pipeline right into him if he just turns and looks to that. So this is like a call to spiritual practices, a call to meditate, chant, pray, get out of your own like emotional world and tap into just receiving divine energy. That can be something that can feel really good when you're feeling sad or when you're not feeling yourself. This could also be feeling sick and just off, just not feeling it. And with Neptune and Jupiter both in your sign too, could really be stirring up just some debris that's just coming up and out, that's clearing, that just needs to come up and out. Like that's the way we heal sometimes, it has to come up and out. This feels like emotional healing that could really be happening this week. Let me see if there's another card that, you know, compromise card. So you're not getting what you want is what it feels like. You're having to compromise. Whatever the energy is that you may get caught up in this week, just know that this too shall pass. The more you can tap into divine energy and just bliss out, the better you're going to feel. The more you can turn your emotions over. I'm seeing this image of just feeling like you're being rocked or held by hands of the divine. I like to envision like a divine feminine hand and a divine masculine hand coming together, and I'm like a little baby being cradled there. Like I feel like you need a little bit of rocking by divine so that you feel better and feel okay and know that this too shall pass. Or maybe you just need to have a really good cry. That could be happening as well. But that's what I get for the Pisces for this week. Breathe deeply, let it clear. You'll feel better after you move this energy. That's what I have to say for that. So, all right, I'm going to pause this video for a minute, grab my guitar, and I'll be back to sing you a song. You'll not even miss me. Okay. So the song I'm going to sing today is called Never Give Up. I wrote this song, I think it was around 1990. And I wrote this based on words from Daisaku Ikeda, who's the president of the International Soka Gakkai International, which is an international Buddhist organization that I've been a member of since 1984. So the international leader, Daisaku Ikeda, is from Japan. He's very wise and has transformed so much in his life and has inspired so many and is responsible for millions of people on the planet right now finding this Buddhist practice. So I wrote these lyrics out of his encouragement to members. So they're from different places, and I went and I pulled out different inspiring lyrics. So all the words in this song were from President Kata at some point, and I repackaged it, put it together, remixed it myself to make this song called Never Give Up. And this song came up this week because it's been such a struggle for me with Mars retrograde and being an Aries. And it's like, I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up this week. And so there couldn't be a better song to play than Never Give Up, because some weeks are like that. We just have to make it through. So hopefully you'll find some sort of inspiration in this song. Let me know. Never give up before your wall of karma. Never give up before your wall of karma. Nor lead a life filled with remorse. We can forge the path to a full and joyful life if we see that everything is a source of happiness. We are family, advancing steadily. We're building a foundation for the next 1,000 years. Never give up before your wall of karma. Never give up before your wall of karma. Nor lead a life filled with remorse. No need to be impatient. Persistence is the key. Anything that comes easily will not long endure. But with the power of faith and friends who are at our side, we can open up the way for peace and joy throughout the earth. Never give up before your wall of karma. Never give up before your wall of karma. Nor lead a life filled with remorse. Let's lead a life that's filled with joy. Have a great week. Peace.